cool. Today we're going to be making fairy houses. We have two different kinds of fairy houses to show you. They're pretty cool. The first kind can be done by any kid, probably of any age. So they're really fun. It's a really fun activity, and they look really neat. But even smaller children can do the project. The second project probably would be for someone maybe a little bit older, maybe with a little bit older skill set, or if you're working with an adult, then you guys could do the second project together. But we'll first talk about the first project, which is our terracotta fairy house. Clara, can you tell us what the materials for the terracotta fairy house are?
A terracotta planter, acrylic paint, paintbrushes, permanent markers are recommended, and waterproof sealer.
Okay, so I picked up these terracotta or clay pots from the dollar store, 3 for $1, really cheap, and they're cute. They're small because fairies are small, right? So we don't want like huge pots, and they're perfect for fairy houses. Clara has started her fairy house,
which we will reveal at the end.
So she's going to be working on hers. But as you can see, she painted around the base of the pot, and now she's painting the top of it. We're using acrylic paints basically because the clay pots, terracotta pots, are really porous, and waterproof paints might seep in and it might fade a little bit easier or a little bit more than the acrylics. So I recommend highly the acrylic paints, but you can always try the waterproof too. That might work, or the washable. You can always try the washable paints too, and just put a couple coats on. All right, this was mine that I started, and as you can see, I made a little door. I took a permanent marker, I made a little door, I made some windows. I have to recommend, after I did this, I would recommend using a pencil to draw what you want to do, because as I'm looking at this now, the windows are a little small. I wish they would have been a little bit bigger. The door is probably a little small. I could have made that a little bit bigger too. So just something to think about. Use a pencil, and then you can trace over with your permanent markers. You can use not washable markers, paint pens with this. You can use paint. But remember, if you're using the small pots like we are, a marker is very nice because you can do some of those detailed items that you might not be able to do when you are, when you're painting. So just something to think about. I'm taking some colored markers, some colored Sharpies here, and just filling in my outline that I made with the black Sharpie. And then I'm going to add maybe some flowers on the bottom, or maybe some bushes with a green Sharpie. Remember, fairy houses are fun, they're whimsical, they're colorful. So really you can do whatever you want with them. So here's my pot with just the markers. You could stop here, or you could take it up a notch. This is where the fun part goes. You could take some feathers, or some bits of paper, or some glitter, or you could take more paint or pom-poms. We've got pom-poms over here, or beads, and you can glue them to the top. And you can use regular glue, or you can use a glue gun, which if you're using a glue gun, I recommend having a grown-up help you out with that, only because the glue can get really hot and you don't want any accidents from anybody.
No burn.
No burns.
Burn.
So I'm going to add a few last touches to my pot. And like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. If you're using regular glue, it's kind of cool because you can always remove it. And even with the glue gun, once it dries, you can always take your stuff off if you don't like it. If you paint the outside and you don't like how it looks, you can always paint over it. The most important thing is just to have fun and do what you like. So this is mine so far. And I'm going to stop there. Claire's going to keep working on hers.
For a while. This is important. I like doing this.
And I'm going to go on to our next. So she'll show us her big reveal at the end. And I'm going to go on to the next fairy house. So the next fairy house is for a little bit bigger kids. It's our fairy stick home.
Fairy stick!
So like I said, either work with an adult for this house, or maybe if you're a little bit older and your adult doesn't mind that you're using a glue gun. A glue gun is pretty important for this project. So our materials that we're using is sticks from the yard or the park, an empty can, as you can see, that's our base, that's our home for the fairies.
Home base.
Home base. Paint. Recommend acrylic paint again, just because you don't need to put too many coats on and it dries pretty quick. A glue gun. You can use regular glue, it just might take a lot longer to set. And then flowers, small bits of paper, pom-poms, beads, whatever adornments you want to add to your house. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to walk through what I did here and then kind of show how to glue the sticks onto the paint can. I'd recommend, before you start, to paint your paint can. I didn't. And if you look closely, you can see the can in between. So I would paint it in maybe a black or a dark brown, just so that it kind of blends in with the sticks, because you are going to have some gaps in between the sticks because they're sticks. They're not totally straight and they're not going to sit completely next to each other. So I would recommend painting your can first. Then gather all your sticks, and as you do, measure them, and you want your sticks to be
About this size.
the size a little bit bigger than the can, because you want it to stick up above the can. So if you can see here, I got my stick, I'm measuring it. The drier the stick is, you can just break them off. You might need to cut them with the scissors, but for the most part, I broke most of these sticks off myself. So once you got enough sticks in there, you're gonna make your door. And the door is really however you wanna make it. I found two shorter bent sticks, and I just placed them around so that they touched and made like an archway. That was really simple, they kind of went together. I played around with what I had, and this is what I found was best. You could cut the sticks and make your own square doorway, whatever's best for you, but this is how I decided to do it. And then I just broke little sticks and filled them in on top. So start with your door, and then just line up your sticks next to one another, your branches next to one another, so that they can be as close as possible to each other. And I'll show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my glue gun and let me just make sure this is a good stick. Maybe not straight enough. I'd be good with this one. There, that's good. That's pretty straight. I'm gonna take my glue gun and I'm going to just put glue all along the side of the stick. So I'm gonna put a good amount. And then I'm gonna take it right away and lean it up on next to the stick. It's gonna attach to the stick better than it will the can. So I would attach it to the stick as opposed to worrying about the can. And then you can always just put a line of glue on the other side so that it attaches to the can. And then just do that all the way around. Since I have that line of glue there, I'm gonna just place another stick right next to it, which it kind of sticks to. And then let's put another line of glue. We're gonna go through some glue with this project, but I'm pretty sure I got my glue for my glue gun at the dollar store for another $1, or it's pretty inexpensive. Inexpensive. Okay. Tomato, right?
Tomato.
Alright, so keep going. And if they end up crossing each other or overlapping, that's totally fine, because think about it. If you're using and really building a log cabin in the woods using real log or sticks, they wouldn't be perfect. Sometimes the beauty is in the imperfections. So after I got all my sticks done, I painted my door, and I need a door handle. So I'm gonna take a bead. I'm gonna grab maybe what color bead should ooh, this is like a little flower bead. I'm gonna do a yellow flower bead.
Or a star.
Or a star. Kind of looks like both. So I'm gonna take my glue gun and then let's put it on my fairy door. So I painted my door a metallic color, something that I thought was kind of fun. Have my door handle. If you want, you can always add maybe one of these terracottas to the roof.
Why didn't you just take yours?
To the roof of it. Or you can add a pine cone to the roof of it. You could put a bouquet of feathers. Clara and I decided that fairies had feathers, different colored feather wings. So maybe there's feathers all the way around to protect them. You could hang a sign that says fairies welcome from one of your sticks that are hanging out. That's kind of what this one was for. I was gonna hang a sign that says fairies welcome here. And you can pretty much make it however you want. You can take some flowers, you can use glitter, however you want. If you want to paint your sticks, you can paint your sticks different colors. If you don't like the woodsy feel of this one,
you could always do a terracotta thing.
you could always do something a little bit more whimsical. But as you can see with the glue gun and this project, an adult is probably a good idea to have around, unless you're an older kid and you've used glue guns in the past. But make sure that you always get permission. All right, let's see the final reveal of our fairy houses. Clara, you're gonna show us what you did?
Yeah, so I tried to make a fairy house with a little pool on top.
Okay.
And like a little crystal garden in the back.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
So here we have our pool that you put, is this glue?
Yeah.
With some glitter on top?
And then I used
A bead? Oh, you used this is a glue stick.
a glue stick, like a little glue stick.
That she cut up and put in the lawn below and then made her own door.
And I used this to make sure that none is spilling out.
That's a good idea. Good idea to keep the glue in there, and the glue will harden, and with the glitter inside, so it will look like kind of like water. And plus you colored around it,
Yeah,
so to make it look blue.
I decided to add glitter because I saw one of my friends used ocean waves with like blue rings and stuff, but I decided to
Okay.
use glitter.
Very creative.
Glitter.
See, you can do whatever you want to make these as creative as you want. If they're an indoor fairy house, then
Cool.
you don't need to worry about it. If they're an outdoor fairy house, I recommend you spraying at least the painted parts with some sort of clear sealant. You can get them at the craft stores or even at Home Depot or wherever you, Menards, wherever you generally go. So I do recommend spraying it with some, or painting it or spraying it with some sealant.
And I recommend putting tons of glitter on it.
But glitter is always fun. But this is the basis. This is the template for making it. Once you get to the decoration part, have fun, be creative, and go for it. You're right. Thanks for joining us on this project today. My name's Brenna.
And my name's Clara, and we are Craft Create Cool Glitter Edition.